Well, hey, my friend, welcome back to the Building Faith podcast. I am so thrilled to be here with you today. I'm your host, Kris Reece, and it is my mission, as always, to provide you with biblical solutions to life's tough challenges. Today, we are in episode 145, and we're answering a question that came in from one of our previous teachings called, If It's Not a Soul Tie, Then What Is It? So Kyla writes in and asks, if I've acknowledged my insecurities, I've read scripture on it and read Christian books on it, yet I'm still insecure and get a bit jealous of others. Could this be a thorn that I will always have? Kyla, thank you so much for your question. The reason I really wanted to touch on this question is because it is a battle that so many people go through. You know, when we come to Christ, our spirits are renewed instantly. But our soul, that can take a lifetime to get sanctified. Now, our soul consists of our mind, our will, and our emotions. So if we've had any type of trauma or bad experiences or faulty patterns from our past, we can be caught in the trap of it today. So I wanted to be able to dive in and give you a few possibilities of where this jealousy and insecurity still could be stemming from. The first one is it's a habit. You know, Romans 12:2 tells us that we are not to be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. So, when we do not renew our minds, we tend to default to an old, faulty thought pattern. So if your thoughts of jealousy and insecurity have always followed down this predictable path, they will always follow down that predictable path until you carve out a new one. Another reason that you could still be feeling insecure and jealous of others is that your focus is off. Oftentimes, when we have a choice, I'm going to focus on my past and my insecurity, or I'm going to focus on my new God-given identity, we have to now decide which one we're going to focus on. And oftentimes when we continue to look at the old self, when we continue to look at the old nature, what we're trying to break, it actually keeps us in that pattern. Instead, what I want to encourage you to do is to focus on and embrace your God-given identity. You see, when you do, you will not only resist the comparison trap, but you'll also be able to not only accept, but rejoice in the success of others. So, what I want to encourage you to do is to take your focus off of yourself and turn it towards your God-given identity. Instead of focusing on trying to break that insecurity and that jealousy of others, focus on who God created you to be. You know, the study of us, and I don't mean the study of us in a self-centered kind of way, the study of his masterpiece, like the psalmist David said in Psalm 139:13, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I know your works full well. So we really want to begin to understand who God created us to be. And the last thing that it could be a possibility of is demonic activity. You could have a demon of envy that is operating in your life. Now, when we talk about demons, first of all, this is a whole other teaching in and of itself that we're not going to get into today. But when we talk about demons, Christians can't be possessed, but we can be oppressed. We can have demonic activity operating in our lives. Why? Because demons can enter in through open doors. So while deliverance, again, is a whole teaching in and of itself, we have to close that door. So I want you to think of your jealousy as any other temptation that you're trying to overcome. And when you're tempted to focus on yourself, which, let's face it, we're going to call this out. That's what insecurity is. It is a carnal preoccupation with yourself. So we tend to be very self-focused when we're insecure. When we're tempted to compare yourself to others, how do we overcome temptation? Well, we decide the new activity that we want to do. Now, of course, we ask the Lord for help because our self-will is only going to get so far, and that really isn't that far at all. So we really want to ask God for His help, but we are partnering with Him in this. So as you're beginning to overcome this temptation, think of it as any other temptation that you would set out to overcome. So for example, if I wanted to stop eating cookies at night, which I don't, but if I did, I would decide what I wanted to do instead. I wouldn't sit there all night long on the couch craving cookies saying, I need to overcome these cookies. I need to overcome these cookies. I can't eat these cookies. And you see what's happening is we keep focusing on the cookies. Instead, I want you to choose what you want to focus on. Maybe I want to do my favorite fruit. Maybe I want to switch over to some carob-covered nuts instead to curb that sweet tooth that isn't as bad as cookies. You get my point. So we have to decide what it is that we want to focus on instead. So, my friend, I would suggest that you start by renewing your mind with the thoughts that can combat the old ones. You've got to have new thoughts to overcome the old ones. So when we're sitting there battling with the insecurity, when we're looking at Instagram or when we see our friend getting blessed in the way that we were hoping to be blessed, we have to have those thoughts. And those thoughts need to be founded and grounded in truth. And where is our truth? It's found in Scripture. So it is this way that you will begin to shut down, at least feeding that demonic activity in your life. Okay, so Kyla, I hope this was helpful. If you guys can let me know if this was helpful to you, give me a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, I would encourage you to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Well, my friend, that is all the time that we have for today. But before we go, I want to invite you to take our free quiz. It is called, Which Bible Character Are You? You see, I believe that we all serve a mighty purpose, and many people in the Bible have served a mighty purpose as well. So that's why I created this free quiz so you can discover which Bible character you are. So I will go ahead and include a link in the description and on the show notes, as well as on the website. Okay, my friend, that's all the time that we have for today. Until next time, remember, all things are possible with God. Thank you for watching Christian Life TV. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, help us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and build believers all around the world. Make a one-time donation or become a monthly partner with Kris Reece Ministries by clicking on the donate link now.